I'm here today to show you some of my favorite art supplies in the mid-affordable range that have completely changed the game for me. When I first started art in like 8th grade, I literally had no idea what to buy. I just basically went along with whatever art YouTuber was using at that time. Now that I've been doing art for about 5 years, I hope I can give you some advice on what to get and what to avoid. By the way, none of these supplies are sponsored. I just really love them. These are just my honest recommendations and art supplies that I've been loving throughout the years. So starting off with pencils. This mechanical pencil is actually crazy. The whole point is that it's designed so that the lead doesn't break. It's the Delgard mechanical pencil. You will not need to worry about your lead breaking midway. I think I've only broken a lead maybe once or twice. If you press really hard at a really weird angle, yeah, the lead is going to break. But for normal use and drawing and sketching, this is literally perfect. Also, you can use this for school, taking notes. I'm gonna have all the Amazon links for the supplies in the description box so you guys can check it out. But I also like to use these regular pencils for sketching. Honestly, when you're sketching, you really don't need anything special. You just need a pencil that works and that can erase very well. And when I'm usually doing these pencil sketches, I use the Tombow Mononoke eraser. The eraser is basically bottled in a mechanical pencil. You can pump it out. I really like how the eraser is really thin and it's just good for adding detail in general. So yeah, you can also buy the refills, but I only needed to refill it once in 2 years. I hate using the big chunky eraser to get highlights because it does not work. Okay, for color pencils. So this is a big one because there's so many color pencil brands, and I've tried many color pencil brands from the Amazon favorites to the $300 Caran d'Ache color pencil set, and oh my gosh, I do have my opinions. Although I've tried a wide range of color pencils, I always go back to the Prismacolor color pencils, and the reason why is because honestly, the only two things you need to look for when getting color pencils: creaminess, aka how easy and smooth they blend, and then great pigmentation. If you have those two things, any color pencil set would work. Obviously, there's light fastness, so the Prismacolor pencils, colors do tend to fade over time compared to the more expensive ones. However, if you just take a light fixative spray and just spray a coat on it, it's completely fine. I'd say stay away from the ones that are very chalky and stiff and hard and are not easy to blend. Because the Prismacolor color pencils are very creamy and soft, the lead is known to be very easily breakable, which is so unfortunate and so annoying. I just use the Prismacolor pencil sharpener and it works great. Whenever you're using color pencils, no matter what the brand, I highly recommend staying away from those electric pencil sharpeners. So yeah, I highly recommend using a manual pencil sharpener so that it won't risk getting broken in the sharpener. One of the biggest things that comes to mind when getting into art is, oh, I need a sketchbook. But the next question is, okay, which one should I get? And honestly, there's no right or wrong answer. It all depends on whatever fits your needs. And let me explain. So there are two things to look for when you're looking for a sketchbook: the paper's thickness and roughness. Thickness is about how many layers you want the paper to hold, and then roughness is how smooth or rough you want your drawing to turn out. So if you're planning on getting a sketchbook for light sketching, brainstorming, and for travel, I highly recommend getting a sketchbook that is thin and light and smooth, so it's easier to brainstorm and also just roll your pencil over the paper. My favorite go-to light sketchbook is probably the Strathmore sketchbook, but honestly, I'm only using this one because I already have it. I also love using regular Walmart sketchbooks. If you're looking for a sketchbook that has really thin, light paper with a smooth surface, then you can pretty much get one anywhere. So to be honest, I just use whatever, and they just work perfectly fine. But if you're planning on using a sketchbook for really heavy duty, let's say charcoal, color pencils, or watercolors, then I recommend using the Canson XL Mixed Media sketchbook. I've also talked about this sketchbook a billion times all across my social media. Canson, please sponsor me. This sketchbook, I think I had 3 or 4 already. The reason why I always go back to the sketchbook is because the thickness is not too thin or too thick. It's literally right in between. So it's good for thin sketches and also for acrylic paints. The paper is not too rough, but also it's not completely printer paper smooth. It's surprisingly really good with acrylic paints and watercolors. I don't know about markers because I don't do a lot of marker art, but besides really heavy alcohol markers, I'd say this sketchbook is pretty much good for the majority of mediums out there. Next is, oh my gosh, micron pens and fine liner pens. I'd say this is pretty much, I guess I'd say it's a must-have, but this is the thing. When you're getting these liner pens, make sure, this is the biggest thing to look out for, make sure that the pens are waterproof. waterproof. And I always emphasize this, but it's so important. But if you don't get a pen that is waterproof, you're basically getting like any other pen. If you're drawing a cartoon and you want to like color with watercolor, acrylic paint, or whatever watery medium, if you have a pen that is water resistant, the black ink won't like smudge all over. Most of the liner pens out there are waterproof. It's not uncommon to find waterproof pens. Also, another thing, I know that like white gel pens are really popular, like the Sakura Jelly Roll, and I personally own them too, but unpopular opinion, I honestly don't like them that much because every time I try to use it, it just doesn't come out and it just doesn't work for some reason, and I always have to like end up rubbing it like on my finger and then like getting it to work. So instead of using the Sakura Jelly Roll pens, and they're super expensive too, I personally just use a white acrylic marker. You've probably seen it like on TikTok where like these artists, they shake the pen and then like press it and the ink comes out. It's basically like an acrylic paint but like in a marker form. Dries completely matte and there's a lot of ink that comes out. The Sakura Jelly Rolls, I liked them in the beginning and I did recommend them on my social media, but I feel like there are more times when it doesn't work than when it actually does. So I hope you enjoyed this video and found it like helpful. Let me know if you want a more like in-depth video, including like watercolors and like what brushes to get. I think that would be really interesting. I really love making these types of videos. But yeah, I love chatting with you guys and giving you guys like art advice. I feel like it's really cool because I learned art from YouTube. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye!